There is a lot of outside noise, but I like to record with the door open, so hopefully that doesn't interfere too much. Yesterday I talked about the ego, and today I really want to go into another lesson that I learned within, which is about attachment. So I'm going to leave all my comments and whatever I want to say that's between me and everyone or you that watches this video at the end. I'm just going to first just dive into attachment. So, attachment. Only when everything was stripped away from me was I aware that it was super necessary, that I was very much attached. I've always been a very codependent person growing up, whether it be I had a friend that I was super close to, so I felt as though I needed to talk to them every single day and just super needed to be connected with them every single day, almost to an unhealthy point. Have you ever had those friendships that you're calling them every day just because you're so codependent? That later definitely came out more and more through relationships, me being very codependent, and a lot of emotions and attachments. I attached a lot of my emotions to people, places, and things. So, great example I can give is my past relationship. I was very much attached. I felt as though that I needed to be with this person every day, and I knew it was unhealthy. However, not being around them made me feel a sense of insecurity, made me feel a sense of something may be wrong. It was interesting because in the beginning, every time in the beginning, it was never like that for me. It would later just progress as the relationship went on, and I truly believe that when you're with someone so much, everyone's just a mirror for you, right? Everyone was just a mirror for me, a reflection of myself. So how you react to someone is just you reacting to a reflection of yourself. But the awareness that you can have, if you are aware, I was not aware, really is a true blessing when you could be aware of all this. So when you're projecting onto someone, you're aware that you are. You're aware that I'm projecting my insecurities onto you. I'm projecting this onto you. But yeah, so there were a lot of times I even heard from this person that they would say, you're really attached to things. When we moved in together, it was really hard for me to get rid of a lot of my stuff, to let go of certain things, just because I had an attachment with the object, and that went through everything, and love. When I was in a place where I didn't understand love for the entirety that it is, I attached love to a person. And for me, attaching love to a person, a relationship, is not healthy. Because a love is a feeling. It's infinite. You can't, if you try to put it in a box, you're not allowing the love to grow and flourish in all that it is. So you find yourself in a relationship that there's a lot of toxicity, there is a lot of chaos, possibly a lot of fights, and you're just like, what is going on? And when I was able to step back and be aware of everything, I realized I had attached love to this person. I attached it. And with that attachment, I try to control this person through my fear of my ego, my doubts, my insecurities. It would come out, but love can never be attached to anything. It is an energy, it is a feeling, and it cannot be confined into a box, and you must allow it to express itself in any shape, way, or form. Trust me, it's not easy. So if you're sitting there thinking like, no, I can't trust the person I'm with. I understand it's really hard. It's very, very hard. That's why I'm saying the inner work is super important, because it's not that it's not possible. It's just, it is very challenging. I understand. Yeah, so love was an emotion for me that I attached to a person. So I was very confused. I didn't understand love in its entirety. But going back to attachment, if you see me looking down, I've decided to kind of brainstorm so that way I can keep myself very, not all over the place, because this can get very, spiderwebby. So, things. There's a passage in the Bible that I've heard saying, if they take your jacket, give them your shirt too. Or Jesus saying, when they take your jacket, give them your shirt. And what that, to me, really, why that was so powerful when I heard that again, was the fact that, to me, the interpretation of that is, have you ever been attached to a handbag, maybe? Girls, ladies? So for me, let's see, oh, okay. I had an elephant statue that I was semi-attached to, I guess. And, no. Better example, I had a ring that I was really attached to. And I believe that ring, if I lost it, no, So anytime I would lose it, you know what? Better example, my cell phone. Your cell phone. We could be very attached to our cell phone, right? I love it. I could record on it. It's beautiful. However, there was one time I was very attached to it. So, have you ever thought that you lost your phone and you're like searching for it, and then all these feelings of emotions of like worry, doubt, everything that you're like, these emotions, I don't like them too much, emotions would come up, and I would always find it, and once I would find it, I'd be like, but that right there, what is that? How is it that I am so attached to an object, a materialistic thing, that losing it would be like losing my entire life? That doesn't make sense. Whether you're attached to a person, place, or thing, and when you can recognize that, it's super important to acknowledge that when you attach yourself to something, it was me attaching my identity. So I thought, if we break up, if I lose my phone, if I don't have my car, all these, whatever the object, person, place is, I would be losing my entire life. This is my world. I have made it. I have attached an identity. Have you ever broken up and you're just like, you're so sad. You feel like a piece of you has been ripped out, and in a sense it has, because you've given it that power, and you feel as though, who am I? I can't be anything without this person, because you've given so much of yourself to this person, and you've attached yourself. You've attached an identity. Not realizing that you are you, fully and wholly, hopefully, right? And they are them. Fully. They are fully them. Or you are you, and your phone is your phone. It doesn't define who you are. And once you've allowed it to define who you are, that's when you've grown an attachment to it. So going back to that saying, if he takes your jacket, if the enemy takes, or I don't know the exactness of it, but basically it's saying someone could get really sad about someone stealing a piece of, maybe a leather jacket for I've worked so hard for that, it's leather, it's it made me feel this way, it was a part of me, I wore it every single day, and someone just stole it, or he took my jacket, and you get super angry, but then to say, then give them your shirt as well. How powerful. Like, gosh, I don't know, it's just so beautifully powerful. You are not your jacket. You are not a shirt. You are not a cell phone. You are not a vehicle. Yes, a vehicle is a tool for you to get from point A to point B, but once you've attached an identity to that, how can you limit yourself? You're so infinite. You're limiting you're limiting your gifts, the true essence of you. You've put yourself in a box, and there's no room for growth through that. You're always going to be suffering. I lost my car. How could this happen? So upset. Then you become possibly depressed, and you don't believe in the world anymore. The world is against me. Not seeing that you've gone against yourself. You've created that. End of a relationship. How I react normally. Oh no, depressed for many months until I'm able to move forward. It's like, oh no, how could he leave me? Like, I know I was crazy, but how dare he leave me? I gave him so much love, and I gave him everything. I gave him all my time. It's attachment of all that. How dare I believe that that's all I was? Limiting myself to a person. it's mind-blowing when I think about it, how attached I was to everything. And so that lesson came in right away, and practice. Now, okay, Heidi, I get you. I get it. We got attachments, and they may be causing our suffering, our pain, and all these emotions that I truly don't like. So what now? Okay, great. So for me, what came as instinct, so I'll just share with you what I did to overcome this, was you gotta detach from people, places, and things. And how deep that went was I detached with everything in my life. It was, it was very hard, but there was a knowing that this was a part of everything. So I instantly detached to, things were the easiest for me because I was like, oh shit, I didn't realize I was so attached. So I started throwing things away. And any time that I was resistant, so, okay, you're gonna be like, Heidi, stop. I threw away things that I had, like, transcript records and all that stuff. I was like, well, if I really needed it, I can call my university. But when I was trying to throw things away, you notice a resistance to a lot. So this is how I identified it. I was like, does this serve a purpose right here, right now? No. So why is it a struggle for me to just toss it? There was an attachment. I felt like I got my bachelor's, I spent this amount of time, XYZ, to make my mom proud of me and to throw and shred my transcript, like, oh. But I had attached myself. So I was like, oh yeah, gotta detach. So it was a very, first it was a mental process, then I had to actually physically do it. So anything that did not serve me at this point in time as purpose, my clothes, some of my clothing articles, some of my books, I donated a lot of books. And I would keep textbooks, even though I didn't open them in school. I would keep them because I was like, oh, one day I'm going to go back to that. One day I'm going to read that. I never know when and then you become a hoarder. Yeah, I had to let go. I was like, I'm going to donate. And it was beautiful because I actually had a lot of stuff. Okay, so it got to, then the next elevation of detaching was a lot with my family. I had to detach myself, and for many reasons, and it got to a point where I had to detach myself from certain circumstances with my father. I realized I was enabling him in a lot of things without awareness, and I told my father, hey, here's some things I can no longer step in on in your life because I'm creating a disconnect for you, so I love you. It's hard because with people it's the hardest because you're scared, right? You're just so scared of how they're going to perceive you. But I knew I had to do it. There was just a knowing. So at my father's place, I had left a lot of my stuff in his room. And I went to his house, and to completely release myself, I had to clear that room. Because there was an attachment with that room. Like, I'm leaving my stuff here. It used to be my room. It's my room. It could be no one else's. So I went, cleared everything out. And all the books and textbooks I had, there was a library nearby, and I donated that. And it was such a powerful moment because that library was the very first library that I had been to growing up, and I loved that library. Oh my goodness, that library gave me so much life when I was a little girl. I loved going to the library, and my mom would get movies, and that was exciting, and I would be able to I think my mom allowed me to we'd get one book each. So when I donated the textbook, it was like full circle because when I had walked in, the library seemed dead. No more life was in there. So it was a beautiful moment for me to be able to give back to the community that once gave to me. So that was powerful in itself. So yeah, I had to detach basically from everything around me. I even went as far as clearing out my cell phone and deleting numbers that I would save because I thought maybe one day I'm going to have to call them. And I was like, you know what? So what if I don't have their number and they text me and I have to ask like, hey, who's this? Totally okay, it's normal. So I started filtering out my entire contact book. I started detaching from all people in my life. And when you detach, when you let go of attachment, it could be a very hard process, very scary. You're very resistant, and that's okay. That's very normal. So take it at your own pace. For me, I was able to take it in a very, I would say, couple hour pace due to where I was at. But you don't need to be where I'm at, because then you wouldn't be where you're at. So stay where you're at, because that is purpose for yourself. And we're not at. So if we go deeper into this, We're not at anywhere other than where we need to be at. So there is no levels to this. Like, oh, I'm here, so you're down here. No, 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 no. We're just at where we need to be at. You're just like, Heidi, you're giving me a freaking headache. Maybe some of you are thinking that, and trust me, this can be a headache. So yeah, that was steps. Yeah, so attachment and ego go very hand in hand. They're like best friends forever. The ego has to attach. So that's why many attachment emotions feel, when you tap into, like, say with a boyfriend, you get super jealous because you're super attached to them. You notice you do have an attachment to them, codependency. And then when they do something, or your ego comes out a lot. Ego and attachment are best friends. Attachment's like, hoo-hoo, I found a person. Ego's like, yes, let's cause these emotions. And ego plus attachment equals emotions. So that's why usually with attachment, a lot of emotions of doubt, insecurity, lack of comes out, because, yeah, the ego must attach itself. So when you start letting go, detaching, I just put a post, and it meant a lot to me. It was a letter, and it said, "Dear attachment, I'm done. Sincerely, detached." When you no longer have a strong emotion to things, you know, your TV, your laptop, your car, nothing owns you anymore. Nothing can control or own your emotions. When you no longer are controlled by a person, a place, or thing, it's freeing. And then you start seeing that your ego doesn't react as well. It's no longer, it's like, hey, ego, you there? You do a little test. Someone steal my car right now. I need to test this out. That's not true, right? You're like, no, never. But another example that came through my head is so much in car accidents, right? People get in a car accident, and maybe both their cars are totaled. And how many have experienced where both people come out super angry, super like stressed out, upset, and for XYZ reasons? But how many have you ever came out of an accident and looked around, first checked yourself, I'm okay, I'm good, this is just a vehicle, I'll figure that out when moments come, but I'm good? How many have you stepped out and ever went to that other person, regardless of whose fault it is, and just made sure that person is physically okay, maybe emotionally okay, maybe they start yelling at you, maybe, but how many, if everyone were to start this inner work, you get in an accident, right? I see so many people coming out and it being a beautiful thing. When both people can not have an attachment to an identity, to a work they may not enjoy going to, that they had a rush to get to that caused the accident. And the vehicle is no longer an identity of who they are, and they just come out and they hug. Oh, thank goodness, we're both okay. We are both okay. And then you de-stress, you allow all that tension to go away, and, you know, let things work out accordingly. All right, our cars are totaled. Individually, you will start taking that step by step. Individually, you know, through your insurance, whatever the scenario is. But that popped into me a lot. After detaching, I live in LA, so there is an airplane flying by. So if it gets loud, I'll just stop. But yeah, living in LA, I see so many accidents, so many people angry and like totally okay, you know, we're all at different levels, and not different levels, just different places. And I always thought, man, if I got into an accident, I would be super glad that I have my mindset, because it's not fun feeling sad or depressed that your car is totaled, or it's not fun, the feelings that could come, the attachment of emotions that come with a scenario like that. Depends on your mindset, right? So, where's your mindset at? Where are all our perspectives at? Where are our level of consciousness at? Awareness at? So, to me, my opinion and my perspective and my values are, number one, let's all wake up. Let's all be very conscious and aware of every step we take in life. Who are we walking with? What are we walking with? What are we walking with? Let's dig deep. Let's understand this at an inner level, at at a much profound, deeper level. And then once we're able to do this work and understand things and break it down and really get honest with ourselves, then you'll feel the vibrations and you'll feel the new life, the rebirth that starts happening. And then you'll feel like, all right, I'm about to create my life. Everyone's perspective and visions and everyone's feeling on what success and true, like, I've accomplished this and this is all different. So never judge someone. Please, never judge someone of where they're at. You worry about yourself. So you can get where your soul was intended to get to. Some people are like, what example can I give is, I guess I'll just give a false example that I think you guys can definitely interpret this is, so many times you're driving a really nice car, right? Or what you think is a nice car. Then you look at someone with maybe a not so nice car in your mind. And then you start judging them. I'm better. You should have worked harder. You should have done this. You start putting your expectations of what all of this is for you on them. What does that tell you about yourself and where you're at? And that person might be in their car thinking like, man, I love my car. It feels so good to be in here. I don't have much payments. And they're going to a freaking mansion because where their values and morals are at is, I like to go to a home that I truly enjoy. The car is just, I don't really care. I love this car, it makes me feel good. Maybe it was like their stepping stone into the life that they wanted, so they keep it, they drive it as a memory, and here you are in what you thought was a really nice car, and yet you might be driving to a different type of house that isn't a mansion. Maybe it's a, I don't want to put anything down, but we'll say maybe it's, you're not driving to a home. Or maybe you are and you're driving to a home that you don't even like being in. So never judge anyone where they're at, because everyone is where they are meant to be, and they've created that for themselves. A mantra that I did today through my meditation was, life is not happening to me. So many times we think life is happening to us, at us. I am making life happen. Life is not happening to me. I am making life happen. So, please, I think it's very important to not judge someone else, because that keeps you in a cycle of judgment, and then you're creating a block for yourself, because then you become self-conscious of, I need to have this really nice car because I can never look like that. Then you're fighting for that because it's more of an exterior thing for other people to value you or whatever that is. Stop. What you want, or what you have and what you value is what you do, and let's just all honor that in ourselves for sure. And that's where you find a lot of peace and happiness. So another good thing you can do is filtering out your Instagram. So I think I'm gonna leave it at that. I think that was it for attachment. Next thing I will dive into, I think a really good thing to dive into is, so it was ego, attachment, and then you gotta detach. I'm thinking maybe the lesson of judgment or subconscious, your subconscious mind, and how to declutter and filter that out, and we'll see. Anyways, I'm gonna keep it at that. Thank you so much for allowing me to share. I really enjoy doing this, so if you're journeying through this and you enjoyed it, please take whatever messages align with you. And if you're journeying through this and you're like, this shit was a waste of my time, why did I even stick through it? It's 30 minutes now. Please, I honor that, and it doesn't make me feel any type of way. Please continue on your journey. There's possibly other YouTubers that may talk about the same thing, just their way of communicating might be a lot more aligned with you, so please, I really encourage you to seek out what aligns with you. Always question everything I say, and does it really sit with you in truth? Is this really truthful for you? Because your truth is the truth, right? No one can tell you. You have it inside. There's a knowing. And then once you tap into that, you're able to see that it's all one truth. The message just comes in many different ways, shapes, and forms. So, thank you Namaste.